Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andy Powers here with the Texas Pitching Institute, and I'm really excited to be coming to you live today. We are entering into the off season right now, and so this is definitely a time where a lot of people are going to be hopefully looking to start to increase their abilities over this off season and getting ready for the spring. And I'm sure, depending on where you're at and where you're watching this, maybe you're dealing with some restrictions that you're going through, or it's not as easy to train as it normally is this time of year. And I'm sure as baseball players, we can overcome that. But in this video, what I wanted to talk about is that there's really kind of three main things that people come to me with at TPI. And that's either they're lacking in velocity amongst their peers for their age group. They're suffering from lack of command. You know, they're not able to throw the ball where they want, when they want, as often as they want to. Or maybe they're lacking that secondary pitch or multiple pitches. Or they're struggling from pain. And so in this video, what I wanted to talk about today with you is kind of what I'm calling the velocity equation. Okay, and by the way, if you want help with this, go to www.trainwithtpi.com, fill out a little application right there, and we'll see how we might be able to help you as well. But when we're talking about the velocity piece of this, I want to take a step back for a minute and just kind of be real broad in this and kind of a 30,000 foot view. We'll bring it in a little closer here in a little bit, but hopefully that you will understand this. But I look at velocity as kind of like a math equation, and it's a real simple one for the most part. It's arm strength plus arm speed equals velocity. And we all have that, no matter what that component is. Now, when I say arm strength, by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean how much we can, curl with our arm. It's actually whatever we can generate out of our entire body and then transfer it into our arm that we can then put into the baseball. So, but it's a little easier to remember when you talk about arm strength. Now, the arm speed part of this is also just how fast we can move that. So the point is that everybody has a certain level of arm strength, or the entire what we're able to generate out of our body, and everybody has a certain level of how much we can, how fast we can move that. And when you put those two together, you're going to get a velocity. So imagine if you've got like a Schwarzenegger, right? He's not going to lack for arm strength, but he's probably not going to be able to move it very fast. So his velocity, you could probably imagine, would probably be fairly low. And then you could flip around to the other side and you could talk to some guys who have lightning quick reflexes, but they don't have a lot of strength to be able to create anything. And those guys would probably be also in a lower velocity piece as well. So the idea is that we want to try to obviously build up both of those. So the one piece about this with the arm strength, there's a lot of components that go into this. It's not just building up the body in the weight room, although it is an important piece. But I know that that's what a lot of people feel like is the only thing that they need to do, and it's not. There is a strength component, but maybe you've got tight hips. The last thing you want to do going into the weight room is go and do a whole bunch of squats, right? It's just going to make it worse. So we also have to make sure that we've got the right mobilities in the places in our body that we need, as well as the right stabilities in the places of our body that we need. But nonetheless, assuming that we've got all that stuff, there is a component of it into the weight room that we want to build up. Now, one of the things I also talk about a lot when it comes to the velocity piece is that you've got basically, as a pitcher, right-handed pitcher, the front of your shoulders, think of it as your gas pedal, but the back of your shoulder is your brakes. If you want to go faster, if you want to have a bigger gas pedal, you better have a bigger and better braking system on the back of your shoulder. So if you can really help to develop that piece, then you will imagine that your body will kind of unlock itself, as I like to say, which will allow you to accelerate and go forward faster because your body's not interested in letting it hurt itself. So it's going to only go as fast as it can absorb the energy. And so if we've got a better braking system in the back, then that will allow us to go faster forward. I hope that makes sense. So when we're dealing with stuff in the weight room, let's definitely focus on the back of our shoulder, our butt, our back itself, our hamstrings, everything on the backs of our posterior chain, as you may have heard that word. Okay? Now, when we go into the weight room, we're wanting to do, some strength training pieces. From there, though, if we stop there, we're going to end up moving slow. Imagine this. We're going to go real simple. There's 3 muscle fibers that you have in every muscle in your body. Let's keep it simple. And let's imagine that each one of these represents basically a third of your muscle. You've got a slow twitch muscle, a fast twitch muscle, and a hybrid. No matter what we do, the slow twitch will always be slow. And no matter what we do, the fast twitch will always be fast. But how we use our muscles a majority of the time will be how the hybrid fiber will kind of gravitate towards. So if the only thing we do is in the weight room and all we do is usually slow movements in there, then 2/3 of your muscles are going to be basically trained to be slow. And that's not what we want. That's not going to work for us as baseball players. So what we've got to do is we've got to take that new strength and then we've got to go do explosive burst movements. This is what I call explosive burst movements. Some of that stuff could be, an example is that if you're familiar with the Oates specialties, you've got like the slam net. You could do the stability trainer. There's a whole lot of different tools and scenarios. Just regular sprints could be also a very good tool to use. All right. But we're taking that new strength and now we're making it more explosive. And then taking it a step farther. We want to do what we call plane training, the Plane. So it's like the movements of the body that we're on. So when we're breaking it down, the idea of the philosophy is that if we can isolate the different movements that we have when we're throwing the baseball, by the time we put them all together, everything should be better. So one of them is called our frontal plane. So that is going to basically be from our balance point, if you will, our leg lift towards the plate. That's that movement right there, that side-to-side movement. Then there's the transverse plane, so it's more of the rotational. So our front foot lands, we're starting to turn into our throw. Then there's the diagonal plane, which is our diagonal movement of our throw itself. And then there's the single leg plane, which is landing on our front foot, driving off our back foot, one leg at a time. If we can isolate those and then make each of those more explosive, then when the time we bring it all together, it should also become a much better system that we're producing as well. Okay, so that's kind of how we do the arm strength plus the arm speed. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Just wanted to shoot this real quick. Now, if you'd like us to help you with it, be happy to do it. Go to trainwithtpi.com. When you go to that website, you're going to see that there's going to be a quick little application page. Just fill out that application and we'll be in contact with you and we'll see how we might be able to help you. Whether you're here in town or if you're across the country, we'd still have to like to get you to reach your goals. Okay, hope you guys are having a great Monday and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.